Some of these mods are federally banned. Some straight up void your warranty, but all 10 add 100,000 miles to your Jeep, and your dealer will absolutely refuse to touch any of them. But every mechanic who owns a Wrangler runs them the second their factory warranty expires. Number 10 is the manual sway bar disconnect retrofit. If you own a Rubicon, you've got an electronic sway bar disconnect. It's the little switch on your dash that unlocks your front sway bar for articulation on the trail. Cool feature, terrible reliability. The actuator motor and wiring get soaked with mud and salt, and after a few years of real off-road use, they start throwing codes. When it fails, your Rubicon can't disconnect the sway bar at all, which basically makes it a normal Wrangler. The dealer wants $800 to $1,500 to replace the whole electronic assembly. Same part, same failure timeline. You just paid twice for the same broken design. Some Rubicon owners have gone through the electronic disconnect 3 or 4 times during the life of their Jeep. The banned fix is a manual disconnect retrofit. Companies like Curry Anti-Rock and JKS Manufacturing sell a manual sway bar setup that bolts right in. You disconnect 2 pins on the trailhead and clip them back in when you're done. There's nothing electronic to fail, nothing to corrode, nothing that costs $1,500 to replace every 4 years. There's a catch though. Ripping out the electronic disconnect means you're now modifying the Rubicon's electronic system, which voids the Rubicon-specific electronics warranty. Some dealers will even refuse routine service on Rubicons with this mod. But if you plan to keep the Jeep past 100,000 miles, the manual disconnect will still be working long after the electronic version dies twice. That's the smallest banned mod on the list. Number 9 costs way more, but it stops a $5,000 transmission rebuild from ever happening. Number 9 is the heavy-duty torque converter upgrade. Your ZF 8-speed transmission has one weakness the dealer will never mention: the torque converter clutch. Under heavy loads, hard shifts, or big tires, it slips. Every slip generates heat. Every heat cycle wears the clutch material a little more. By the time you hit 150,000 miles, that clutch is toast, and toast in the torque converter means a full transmission teardown. A heavy-duty torque converter from PRL Motorsports, Suncoast, or Firepunk is built with a billet cover, upgraded clutch material, and reinforced internal components. It handles more torque than factory. It holds up under towing, and it prevents the exact failure that ends most 8-speeds. But installing one requires dropping the transmission and opening the bell housing. That instantly voids your factory transmission warranty. Any dealer who spots the aftermarket converter on a warranty claim will kick you out the door. The math still wins though. A factory transmission rebuild runs $5,000 to $7,000 at a dealer. A heavy-duty torque converter runs around $1,200 installed. It also adds towing capacity and firmer shifts, both of which extend the life of the trans overall. Owners running the Suncoast unit report 250,000 miles without a single trans issue. Compare that to the factory converter, which starts slipping around 120K, and the math becomes obvious. Save $1,500 now, save $5,000 later. Every serious diesel tuner will tell you the converter is the first mod to do the moment the trans warranty runs out. Now, if you have a diesel or a turbo Jeep, this next one is basically required insurance. Number 8 is the oil catch can on the 2.0T. If your Jeep has the 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, listen up. That engine is direct injected, which sounds fancy but comes with a hidden ticking bomb. Fuel sprays straight into the cylinder instead of washing over the intake valves. Meanwhile, oil vapor from your PCV system builds up on those valves as hard carbon deposits. No fuel wash means no cleaning. Ever. Left alone, you get misfires, rough idle, and lost power by 70,000 miles. The dealer fix is a walnut blast service, where they literally pull the intake off and shoot ground walnut shells at your valves. That costs $800 to $1,500 every single time, and you'll need it every 50,000 miles for the life of the room. The engine. A quality catch can from JLT, Mishimoto, or UPR installs in an hour. It sits in line with your PCV system and captures the oil vapor before it hits your valves. Drain the can at every oil change. Owners running one from day one report valves that look factory clean at 150,000 miles. Now the banned part. A catch can technically modifies your PCV emissions system, which counts as tampering under EPA regulations for street vehicles. Your dealer will absolutely deny warranty claims on anything intake or emissions related if they spot the can under your hood. Some dealers will even flag the whole engine as modified. But your dealer will also tell you the 2.0 turbo doesn't need a catch can. They're wrong. Every direct injected turbo builds carbon, and the 2.0 turbo builds it fast. Take the warranty hit. Save the walnut blast bills. Speaking of expensive fuel system failures, the next mod stops one that literally shreds your entire engine from the inside. Number 7 is the high-pressure fuel pump upgrade on the EcoDiesel. If you own a 3.0-liter EcoDiesel in a Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Ram, or Gladiator, this is the mod that might save your engine. Your EcoDiesel runs a Bosch CP4 high-pressure fuel pump, and the CP4 is one of the most notorious failure points in modern diesel engineering. When it fails, the pump doesn't just die quietly. It sends metal shavings through your entire fuel system. Every injector, every fuel rail, every line. Complete replacement runs $8,000 to $12,000, and dealers don't cover it under warranty because it's classified as a wear item. Owners have reported the failure happening at highway speed with no warning, leaving them stranded and staring at a 5-figure repair bill. The banned fix is a CP3 conversion kit from companies like S&S Diesel Motorsport or Fleece Performance. The CP3 is the older Bosch design that came in the earlier Cummins engines. It's mechanically simpler, it doesn't self-destruct, and it doesn't send shrapnel through your fuel system when it wears out. Installing a CP3 conversion voids your entire fuel system warranty, plus the powertrain warranty on anything downstream. But the CP3 is proven to hit 500,000 miles on Ram Cummins trucks with basic maintenance. Compare that to the CP4, which has a documented failure rate around 120K, and the choice makes itself. If you plan on keeping your EcoDiesel past your factory warranty, the CP4 is a ticking time bomb. This is the mod that diffuses it. Quick pause. If you want the full breakdown of every part I use on my own Jeep, I put together a complete Jeep longevity ebook. The link is below in the description. Now back to it. Number 6 is the Regearing with TCM recalibration. Slap 35-inch tires on your stock Jeep, and you've just ruined your drivetrain. Factory gears are designed for stock tire diameter. Bigger tires mean your engine works harder in every gear. Your transmission shifts wrong. Your torque converter locks up too late. Your fuel economy craters. And your dealer just found the perfect excuse to deny your next warranty claim. The correct fix is regearing your axles to match your tire size. Bigger tires need a lower gear ratio. Stock Rubicon gears are usually 4.10, but with 35s you need 4.88, and with 37s you need 5.13. That means pulling both differentials and swapping the ring and pinion sets. It's not cheap. It runs $1,200 to $2,500 at a shop, and requires a break-in period of about 500 miles before you can tow or wheel hard. But there's a second step most owners skip: the TCM recalibration. Your transmission computer is programmed for factory tire size. Even after regearing, it still thinks you're on 33s. So you use a tool like the AEV ProCal or a Superchips TrailCal to reprogram the TCM to match your new gears and tire size. Both mods void your drivetrain warranty because you're modifying the powertrain configuration. Chrysler is clear about this in your owner's manual. But without regearing, your transmission fails at 70,000 miles instead of 250. Without TCM recalibration, your shifts are wrong, your speedo lies, and your ABS misreads wheel speed. Real math wins again. $1,500 now saves $5,000 later. Number 5 is the custom ECU tune. This is the most warranty-voiding mod on the list, and Steve Lato, the automotive attorney, has covered it 100 times. The moment you flash your ECU or PCM with a custom tune, your entire powertrain warranty is legally on the chopping block. The Federal Trade Commission has specifically ruled that manufacturers can deny drivetrain warranty claims when the failure is linked to altered ECU parameters. But there's a flip side. A good custom tune actually extends the life of your engine and transmission. Factory tunes are calibrated for emissions and fuel economy first, longevity second. A properly done aftermarket tune softens shifts, adjusts fuel curves for better combustion, and pulls back aggressive timing that stresses engine internals. Companies like Diablo Sport, Superchips, and Bully Dog offer plug-in tuners that reflash your factory ECU. On gas Jeeps, you can adjust shift firmness, torque management, and rev limits. On EcoDiesels, you can adjust turbo boost, fuel pressure, and injection timing. The best tuners even let you swap between multiple tunes on the fly, one for daily driving and one for towing or trails. A softer tune on the ZF 8-speed transmission alone extends its life by an estimated 80% based on shop rebuild data. Fewer aggressive shifts equal fewer clutch pack heat cycles. Fewer heat cycles equal a longer transmission life. Your dealer will absolutely flag this on their diagnostic scanner. Every ECU flash is logged, and Chrysler dealer techs are trained to check for aftermarket tunes at every service visit. If you plan to tune, do it after your bumper-to-bumper warranty expires. Now the top 4. All EcoDiesel, all federally banned, all extend your engine life by 6 figures of miles. Number 4 is the DPF delete on the EcoDiesel. Your EcoDiesel runs a diesel particulate filter in its exhaust. The DPF traps soot from combustion so your Jeep meets EPA emissions standards. But every time the DPF gets full, your engine runs a regeneration cycle to burn off the trapped soot. Regen heats your exhaust to over 1,000 degrees, dumps extra fuel into the cylinders, and stresses your turbo. Over time, those regen cycles cause fuel dilution of your engine oil. Your turbo cooks, your injectors clog, and your DPF eventually fails at around 120,000 miles, which costs $4,000 to $6,000 to replace at a dealer. On EcoDiesel forums, this is the single most complained about issue after the EGR system. A DPF delete replaces the entire filter with a straight-through pipe from companies like the Diesel Dudes or Dinovox. No filter, no regens, no fuel dilution, no turbo cooking. Combined with a delete tuner that turns off the DPF monitoring in your ECU, your engine breathes freely and lasts far longer. The truly banned part is this. Removing a DPF on any street-driven diesel is a violation of the Federal Clean Air Act. The EPA can fine individual vehicle owners up to $4,500, and they've actively enforced this since 2020. Any state with emissions testing will fail your Jeep instantly, and your factory powertrain warranty is void the second the delete goes in. But if you live in a state without emissions testing, and you never plan to sell your Jeep in a compliant state, this mod adds enormous engine life. EcoDiesel owners who deleted their DPF report 300,000 miles on the original engine. Owners who kept the factory system rarely make it past 200K without major repairs. This one is also federally banned, and it fixes a system that has 8 separate failure points. Number 3 is the DEF and SCR delete on the EcoDiesel. Your EcoDiesel also runs a DEF system, which stands for diesel exhaust fluid. It sprays a urea solution into your exhaust to reduce nitrogen oxide emissions through the SCR catalyst. It works great when it works. It's a disaster when it doesn't. The DEF system has 8 separate failure points: the DEF pump, the DEF injector, the DEF heater, the DEF quality sensor, the DEF level sensor, the NOx sensor, the urea tank heater, and the SCR catalyst itself. Any one of them can put your Jeep in countdown mode, where the engine won't restart after a certain number of starts. DEF pumps fail around 100,000 miles. Injectors clog with crystallized urea. Heaters burn out in cold climates, and each individual repair runs between $600 and $2,500. That's assuming the dealer even has parts in stock, which they often don't. EcoDiesel forums are full of owners who waited 6 weeks for a DEF injector, while their Jeep sat in the dealer parking lot in countdown mode. The banned fix is a complete DEF and SCR delete kit. Companies like Diesel Dudes and Fleece Performance sell complete delete pipes that remove the SCR catalyst, plus a delete tune that turns off the entire DEF monitoring system in your ECU. No DEF, no SCR, no countdown mode. No random check engine lights that leave you stranded. This is another Clean Air Act violation, and it voids every part of your emissions warranty. But EcoDiesel owners who delete the DEF system add roughly 150,000 miles to their engine life by eliminating those 8 failure points from the equation. Number 2 is where things get really wild. It's the mod that saves the actual engine block itself from the number 1 EcoDiesel killer. Number 2 is the EGR delete on the EcoDiesel. The exhaust gas recirculation system on the EcoDiesel is the number one reason these engines die early. Ask any diesel mechanic and they'll tell you the same thing. The EGR routes exhaust gases back into your intake to reduce combustion temperatures for emissions. In doing so, it dumps soot and unburnt carbon straight back into your engine on every cycle. That soot builds up in your intake manifold, cakes your valves, clogs your EGR cooler, and eventually causes the cooler itself to crack. When the EGR cooler cracks, it dumps engine coolant into your intake. Coolant in the intake means coolant in your cylinders. Coolant in your cylinders means hydrolock, and hydrolock means a bent rod and a totaled engine. There are dozens of documented cases on the EcoDiesel forums where owners had their engines destroyed at under 100,000 miles from exactly this failure. This is why there's an actual NHTSA recall, Campaign 19V757000, covering EGR cooler failures on 2014 to 2019 Ram and Grand Cherokee EcoDiesels. Chrysler admitted the design was faulty. They still didn't fix the underlying problem. An EGR delete kit removes the entire EGR system. Block-off plates seal the intake ports. A coolant reroute bypasses the failed cooler, and a delete tune turns off the EGR monitoring in your ECU. Companies like the Diesel Dudes, Explosive Diesels, and CB Engineering sell complete kits for around $300 to $800. Deleting the EGR is a Clean Air Act violation. It voids your entire powertrain warranty. Some states will fail your emissions inspection instantly. But it's also the single most important mod for keeping your EcoDiesel alive past 300,000 miles. Every experienced EcoDiesel mechanic I've asked says the same thing. Delete the EGR the moment your warranty runs out, and your engine will outlive the rest of the truck. Now, number 1. This applies to every modern Jeep with the ZF 8-speed transmission, gas or diesel, and it's the biggest longevity mod on the entire list. Number 1 is the ZF 8-speed thermal bypass delete. This is the biggest banned mod for any modern Jeep. It applies to every Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, and Gladiator with the ZF 8-speed transmission, which is basically every Jeep built since 2013. Nobody tells you this. Your factory transmission has a thermal bypass valve that restricts flow to your transmission cooler by up to 87% until fluid hits about 180 degrees. Chrysler did this for fuel economy and emissions ratings. Your transmission runs hot. Shifts feel firmer. The engine warms up faster. Great for cafe numbers. Terrible for your transmission. Heat kills the ZF 8-speed. Every 10 degrees over the ideal range cuts fluid life in half. Owners who tow, live in hot climates, or drive hard see their transmissions fail at 100,000 miles instead of the 250,000 these things can hit. The banned fix is a thermal bypass delete kit from RevMax, PPE, or Sonax. It rips out the restrictive factory thermostat and drops in a full flow bypass that keeps your fluid running in the 160 to 180 degree range at all times. Trans temps drop by 40 to 50 degrees on the highway. Fluid lasts twice as long. Your 8-speed lifespan doubles. The kit costs around $50 and installs in an hour. Your dealer will absolutely deny warranty claims if they see it, so save this mod for after your powertrain warranty expires. Once you're past that window, this is the single best thing you can do for your Jeep. A rebuilt ZF 8-speed costs $5,000 to $7,000. $50 mod stops that entire repair from ever happening. That's every one of the 10 banned mods that add real miles to your Jeep. Some are federally illegal on street-driven vehicles. Some just void your dealer warranty. All of them add 100,000 miles or more when installed right. If you got value out of this, drop a comment telling me which mod you're doing first. I read every one. Hit subscribe so you don't miss next week's breakdown, and click the video on your screen, and I'll see you in the next one.